Alright, everyone and their grandmother is raving about this book, and that is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Are you related to Mel McFadden? That's a One Tree Hill joke. One Tree Hill is my favorite show, or one of them. The Housemaid is a thriller which is about a girl named Millie who is dating Mel McFadden. Okay, moving on. No, but really, The Housemaid is actually about a young woman named Millie who is the housemaid, housekeeper, whatever you want to call her, for this very rich couple, and their names are Andrew and Nina. But really, she's more so working for Nina, and the husband, Andrew, isn't really aware that there was going to be someone helping to take care of the house. But of course, as you can see from the cover, there's a little secret to be had from Millie, and that is the fact that she just got out of prison after about 10 years. I think it was 10 years, and she was actually on parole, so she got out a little bit early for permanently getting rid of someone. So she's got her little secret, and y'all, when I tell you that I almost did not finish this because I think that Millie is one of the most incompetent people I've ever read about. I'm not entirely sure this woman has a single brain cell. I'm not even sure she has half a brain cell. And I almost DNF'd this because it was getting on my nerves so badly. And then I got to part 2, which took forever to find to show you all because there's not an index anymore in books apparently. I put my foot in my mouth because it started to get really good. And that was a plot twist I wasn't actually expecting. If you read some of the reviews on Goodreads, there are people who absolutely do not like this because they consider this kind of a copy of, what's it called? The Last Mrs. Parrish or something like that? I haven't read that, so I can't tell you. But I did think of this as a version of Verity that I really wanted, which I haven't done a review fully on Verity, but I think I talked about it in a previous video where I was talking about everything that I had read in a month. And Verity was fine, considering who wrote it, but it was missing something. And that's what The Housemaid has, even though it turned out to be a little bit different in regards to the characters and their relationships. But still, in this book, you are made to believe that Nina, the rich wife, is the person that you have to hate. And there are people who still don't like her even after the fact, which is fine. But you are meant to believe that she really is mentally unstable and all these other things, and she's made to be the enemy in this, and Andrew's completely innocent, and Millie ends up like falling in love with Andrew a little bit. That's where the Verity stuff comes in. I also can't remember which book was published first, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just talking about this to talk about it. And there comes a point where Nina knows that Millie has gone to prison for permanently getting rid of somebody. Andrew apparently did not know this, and now Millie is worried about Andrew not liking her anymore, even though I think maybe at this point they were kind of realizing their feelings for each other, and thus Nina is not very happy about that. Millie got Broadway show tickets for Nina and Andrew to enjoy because Nina was having a bad day, but Nina is not able to go because she is so convinced that she actually told Millie that it was supposed to be for this day, and that's part of the whole mentally unstableness that you are supposed to believe. So, Andrew and Millie go instead because Nina is out in Massachusetts taking Cecilia out to summer camp or something. Andrew and Millie get together. As it turns out, Nina finds out all along. Here comes this big reveal of, well, as it turns out, Nina is not the mentally unstable one. Well, she might have PTSD after this. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably does. But as it turns out, she is the innocent one here. And Andrew is the one that... Andrew has a thing for locking women up in the attic. And that's exactly what he did to Nina. And thus Nina was essentially using Millie as someone to become his next project. The next woman to be locked up and basically be her. So she made herself be washed up, she made herself act as if she was incredibly mentally unstable, and she'd been doing it for a while. But then she found out in the middle of this, not too long after I don't think, she found out that Millie went to prison for permanently getting rid of somebody, and she had this idea that, okay, maybe if we play our cards right, and these two can't know about it, if I play my cards right, Millie will be able to get rid of Andrew from me. And that's essentially what happens, and I actually really liked how that went. Eventually, Millie does get locked up. She ends up falling for the trap, and Andrew locks her up. And when I read the part that said that there was a thing of pepper spray in the bucket, I knew where this was gonna go, and I loved it. Here's the thing though, I still think that Millie is incredibly incompetent, and it's hard for me to believe that she spent 10 years in prison for her crimes and she came out with like no street smarts whatsoever. You saw that there was a lock outside of your door and you still wanted to stay in there. You had the yard guy tell you that you shouldn't be going in there. Granted, he pretended that he didn't know how to speak English, but he was giving you enough clues, and you had your phone to translate that for you, which you did do. And you're still just like, well, let me stay here anyways. It'll be fine because I have a secret that they don't know. Well, that wasn't really working out for you until it was too late now, was it? So the whole time, it's 325 pages long. So until we get to part 3, basically, I'm just still convinced that she's just... Actually, even after the fact, I think I'm still convinced. Like, yes, apparently you are very good at being a hit woman, but I think I still ended up giving this 4 stars. I think I originally gave it 5. I knocked it down to 4 like right after I gave it 5 because I thought that, I don't know, it wasn't quite there for me since a huge chunk of it was pissing me off. So I think if a huge chunk of it is pissing me off, it doesn't need to have 5 stars. But I will say this, I liked it enough to decide to get the second book, and it's waiting for me to be picked up at the library, so I'll probably go down there on like Monday to grab it. I believe a third one is also coming out this summer, so I guess I'm kind of right on time with reading this series, so it's not like it's going to be such a long break in between that I won't remember what happened. I'm so curious to see how this next one's gonna go because I read the synopsis for the second one, and I don't think it follows the characters that are in the epilogue for this one, which kind of bums me out because I would have loved to know what was happening here with Miss Lisa and Millie. I'll tell you something, man. I freaking loved Millie and Nina coming together like after the whole fact, and Nina tried her best to make sure Millie has her own life because, I mean, the girl's on parole, so it's gonna be kind of hard to still find some more jobs after this because she still ended up permanently getting rid of Andrew now. I almost feel like, was it a little anticlimactic? I don't think it was. I mean, he got locked up. He got to experience what everyone else experienced. And I also was convinced that he killed his ex-fiance. I don't think he did. I think she managed to get out. Yeah, because the cop that comes back, or the cop that comes to investigate what happened with Andrew, as it turns out, that cop is the father of his ex-fiance before Nina. I can't remember her name. I'm gonna call her Kristen. I feel like that was her name. But I think Kristen's a little messed up and she's like completely off the grid and far away from everybody, which I don't blame her because I can't imagine having to be locked up and having to torture yourself. It's kind of like the Saw games, but not really. You don't get anything out of it. Okay, you didn't really get anything out of the Saw games either. So yeah, I actually ended up liking this book. I'm hoping that the second book is better and makes me less angry for a good chunk of it from the beginning to like the last third, because I want to be able to read this smoothly and like it again. I think if I reread this, I would probably like it more from start to finish, although I would still be angry. But at least now I'm aware that it will get better and to a point where I like it. I spent like 4 hours in the community room just reading the rest of this, and my neighbor like made his way into the community room and made a beeline for the bathroom in there, and I'm just sitting here like reading it where it's like goes nuts, and I'm like, oh my god, in my head just I'm kind of thinking this man's gonna think I'm really weird, but his girlfriend's a reader, so I'm sure he's used to that kind of reaction by now. So I guess we don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, if you like a thriller, I'm going to recommend this, although just be warned, Millie's not very smart. Millie is the poster child for the girls in horror movies that run upstairs when something bad happens and there's a slasher guy coming. She's the poster child for that, despite the fact that she should, in fact, be the very opposite. But you know what? I'm gonna say, go get it. Give it a try. Pick it up from the library so you don't have to commit to it when you're done. And then if you want to, you can commit to it when you're done. Go buy a copy. As far as the commentary about it being direct copies, apparently this is not the first book that people say is like a direct copy, essentially, of other novels. I can't say anything about that because I haven't read those, and this is my very first Freda McFadden read. In the comments, if you read this, let me know what you thought. Let's talk about it. And if you are up for more book reviews and commentary, whatever, just book stuff, book club stuff in general, I have a Patreon page, and I'm adding a lot more book stuff in there other than, you know, what's been happening with my main channel, extra content. So I'd love to have the book people over for $1 a month at the very least. You get some stuff, and I'd love to have you, and we can talk about this. If you have not yet, consider subscribing. I would love to have you. We are almost at the 300 subscriber goal, and then soon we can hit 500. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I very much appreciate it, and I will see you later.